وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا عَلَى فِرْعَوْنَ بِالسِّنِينَ. The same rule. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a messenger to any people, now there were coming to them the distresses, different types of inflictions, smaller inflictions, before the final extermination. وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا عَلَى فِرْعَوْنَ. And we seized the nation of Fir'aun. بِالسِّنِينَ. Years of drought, no rain coming. وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. And the dearth of fruits and crops. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. So that they might be minded, they might feel admonished. فَإِذَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْحَسَنَةُ قَالُوا لَنَا هَٰذِهِ. Whenever something good came to them, they said, this is ours, we deserve it. قَالُوا لَنَا هَٰذِهِ وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ. And whenever some calamity befell them, تَيَطَّيَّرُوا بِمُوسَىٰ وَمَن مَّعَهُ. They used to attribute it to the evil omens of Musa and those who were with him. Allah, innama ta'iruhum indallah. Listen, behold, their bad omens are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever comes to them comes from Allah with His permission. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But most of them don't know these things, the realities of this universe. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقالوا مهما تأتنا به من آية لتسحرنا بها فما نحن لك بمؤمنين فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والجراد والقمل والضفادع والدم آيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين. صدق الله العظيم. We read in the preceding ayat number 130 that according to the general rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that whenever a messenger was sent to a nation, smaller inflictions were sent to them to arouse them, to awake them from their deep slumbers. So this was the condition going on in Egypt for a long time. When Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was sent to Fir'aun, and they rejected and they didn't believe in him. But whenever some infliction came to them, وَقَالُوا مَهْمَا تَعْتِنَا بِهِ مِنْ آيَةٍ. O Musa, whatsoever sign you may produce, لَتَسْحَرَنَا بِهَا, to bewitch us with it. You are trying your sorcery still on us. So whatever you do, فَمَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Rest assured, we are not going to believe in you. That was the arrogance. But the arrogance, was very temporary. You will find in the following ayat. Later, they said, okay, if you can remove this thing from us, we shall believe. But when the thing was removed, they went back on their words. فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمُ الطُّوفَانَ. We sent upon them the flood, وَالْجَرَادَ, and the locusts, وَالْقُمَّلَ, the lice, and maybe khatmal. Kummal and khatmal, they are very near. The vermin. وَالضَّفَادِعَ, and the frogs. وَالدَّمَ, and the blood. آيَاتٍ مُفَصَّلَاتٍ, clear signs, distinct from each other, one after the other. فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا مُجْرِمِينَ. They behaved arrogantly, and they were a guilty people. فَلَمَّا وَقَعَ عَلَيْهِمُ الرِّجْسُ, whenever, the plague fell upon them, قَالُوا يَا مُوسَى ادْعُ لَنَا رَبَّكَ بِمَا عَهِدَ عِندَكَ. They came to Moses, "Oh Moses, please call upon your Lord on the basis of the covenant that you have with him." Now they believed from the depths of their hearts that he is a messenger. They are invoking, "Bima ahida indak." You have a covenant with him. So now please invoke that covenant and pray to him on our behalf. لَإِن كَشَفْتَ عَنَّا الرِّجْسَ. If you save us from this punishment and this infliction, لَنُؤْمِنَنَّ لَكَ, we shall believe in you. وَلَنُرْسِلَنَّ مَعَكَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ, and then we shall let your people, Bani Israel, go out of Egypt with you. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُمُ الرِّجْزَ إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ هُمْ بَالِغُوهُ. But when we removed from them the infliction, the plague, to a term they should reach, lo, إِذَا هُمْ يَنْكُثُونَ, they would break their promise at once. That was their usual practice. فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنْهُمْ. Now came the final verdict, the final punishment, extermination. فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنْهُمْ. So we took the retribution from them. We took the revenge from them. فَأَغْرَقْنَاهُمْ فِي الْيَمِّ. And we drowned them all the armies, of Fir'aun, who had gathered to pursue the Bani Israel, whom Hazrat Musa had taken, and they were going out of this Egypt, this country. But now Fir'aun and all his armies, Junudahu, they were following them. فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنْهُمْ فَأَغْرَقْنَاهُمْ فِي الْيَمِّ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. We drowned them in the sea because they had belied our revelations. وَكَانُوا عَنْهَا غَافِلِينَ. And they were heedless about them. They paid no attention to our ayat, our revelations, our miracles. وَأَوْرَثْنَا الْقَوْمَ الَّذِينَ كَانُوا يُسْتَضْعَفُونَ مَشَارِقَ الْأَرْضِ وَمَغَارِبَهَا. And we made the people who were oppressed, because Bani Israel were oppressed badly in Egypt. We made them inherit the east and the west of the land, allati barakna fiha, whom we have blessed. This is the land of Palestine. We find in Surah Al Bani Israel, Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina. This is a blessed land. So east of it and west of it, all was inherited by now Hazrat Musa and the nation of Hazrat Musa, because before entering this land, Hazrat Musa had already died. That we have read, in Surah Al Ma'idah. But the end result is that we made them the inheritors of the east and the west of the land which was blessed by us. وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ الْحُسْنَى عَلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ. And all the good promises of your Lord were fulfilled for Bani Israel. بِمَا صَبَرُوا. Due to their patience, forbearance. As a whole, they cooperated with Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Because when he said, and he fixed a time that all of us from all the hooks and corners of the country should come out and go out of Egypt, they all, obeyed him. And they took all the perseverance or the persecution with perseverance and patience. So the reward is of bima sabaru, because they showed patience and forbearance. But dammarna ma kana yasna Fir'aun. And we destroyed all that Fir'aun, wa qawmuhu, and his people had built. Very big palaces they had built. Wa ma kanu yarishun. And the big edifices that they had raised, like the World Trade Center. What a high edifice, raised over the ground, the land of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the same way, those people had also raised edifices and big buildings and big towers, but we all were destroyed. وَجَاوَزْنَا بِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ الْبَحْرِ. And we brought the children of Israel across the sea, rescued them. وَجَاوَزْنَا بِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ الْبَحْرِ فَأَتَوْا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ يَعْكُفُونَ عَلَىٰ أَصْنَامٍ. They came to pass by a nation who were meditating on their idols. A nation was there, some people, they had idols, worshipping them, and they used to sit in meditation before those idols. قَالُوا يَا مُوسَى اجْعَل لَنَا إِلَٰهًا كَمَا لَهُمْ آلِهَةٌ. Now look to these people. They said, "O Musa, you make for us also a God like this, as they have the gods." Now what's the reason behind it? There's a big philosophy behind it. If you know Dr. Radhakrishnan's name, he was at one time the President of the Republic of India, and he was a very big philosopher. At that time, they were the two most celebrated philosophers in the world, Bertrand Russell and on the other hand, Radhakrishnan. Both were of the same age, but they were absolutely opposite to each other. Bertrand Russell, logical positivist, denied everything except matter. Nothing is there except the matter. And the biggest spiritualist of this age in philosophers was Radhakrishnan. He has written History of Indian Philosophy in 2 volumes, very small print, very voluminous books. And there he had given a philosophy of worship of idols. He says because it is difficult for people to meditate on Allah because they have not seen him. As Allama Iqbal says, खूगरे पै करे महसूस थी इंसान की नजर मानता फिर कोई अनदेखे खुदा को क्यों कर. People are used, to see something, to believe in it. And if you have some visible object before you and you meditate, concentrate your attention, it becomes easy. So he said that actually we were not worshipping these idols. We also knew they are of stone. This is the philosophy that, the apology you may call it, for idolatry that Radha Krishna produced in a very philosophical way. But to meditate and to have a concentration of your attention, you must have something before you which is visible, palpable. खू गरे पै करे महसूस थी इंसान की नजर मानता फिर कोई अनदेखे खुदा को क्यों कर. And this very argument has been used by some of the mystics. I disagree with them. That because to meditate on Allah is difficult. So first of all you meditate on your murshid, on your mentor. Always think he is with you because you can imagine his figure. You can keep in mind. So keep him in mind every time, every moment that he is with you, he's with you, he's with you, he's seeing you, he's seeing you. This auto-suggestion, that is used there. Then turn to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tasawwur-e-Shaykh, then Tasawwur-e-Nabi, and then Tasawwur-ullah. And then will be able to meditate, on Allah, the unseen. But when this lesson was being given by Shah Abdul Aziz to Sayyid Ahmad Brelvi, he said, what if I die during this process? When I am meditating on my Shaykh, it means I have accepted him as the Lord. He is with me. Huwa ma'akum aina ma kuntum. This is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I am imagining that my Shaykh is with me every time. So actually I will be committing a very big shirk with Allah. And if I die, what will happen? So actually he gave up all those practices. So this is the philosophy behind this. فَأَتَوْا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ يَعْكُفُونَ عَلَىٰ أَصْنَامٍ لَهُمْ قَالُوا يَا مُوسَىٰ اجْعَل لَنَا إِلَٰهًا كَمَا لَهُمْ آلِهَةٌ قَالَ إِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. What? He said, you are people driven by false passions, ignorance. إِنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ مُتَبَّرٌ مَا هُمْ فِيهِ. These people are going to be destroyed and shattered in what they are doing. وَبَاطِلٌ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And whatever they are doing is in vain, without any reality. قَالَ غَيْرَ اللَّهِ أَبْغِيكُمْ إِلَٰهًا. He said, should I seek another God for you except Allah? وَهُوَ فَضَّلَكُمْ عَلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. And he had raised you above and exalted you over all the nations of the world. وَإِذْ أَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ مِنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ. O children of Israel, just remember, when we saved you from Fir'aun's people, يَسُومُونَكُمْ سُوءَ الْعَذَابِ. They were subjecting you to the worst of the punishments and chastisement. يُقَتِّلُونَ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ. They were killing your sons. يَسْتَحْيُونَ نِسَاءَكُمْ. Keeping your women alive so that they can serve in their houses as maids. But the boys to be killed so that the strength of the tribe remains, restricted. وَفِي ذَلِكُمْ بَلَاءٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ عَظِيمٌ. And definitely in all this, there was a big testing and trial and tribulation for you from your Lord.